Across the globe exists a genus of reptiles that contains some of the most fascinating species of the animal kingdom, the genus Varanus. These lizards, commonly known as monitor lizards, have adapted to a vast array of environments, from the arid deserts of Africa to the tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia. They are the pinnacle of evolutionary success, perfectly adapted hunters, and in some species, apex predators. In this series, we will document our expeditions to achieve a life goal: to observe every species of Varanus on Earth, exploring their ecology, habitats, and unique roles in the ecosystem. Each episode takes us to a new location where we will investigate their biology and natural history, one species at a time. While searching, we will have the opportunity to document a vast array of herpetofauna that share their range with our target species. Our first expedition takes us to the edge of the Sahara Desert, in search of a Varanus that rules the sands. The desert monitor, Varanus griseus, thrives in the arid regions of North Africa and parts of the Arabian Peninsula and Middle East. This is an extremely elusive species. Its low population density, combined with its high mobility, means that free-living observations are very rare. We'll rely on tracks in the sand, camera traps, and the entrapment of animals in water cisterns to aid our efforts. We'll visit areas well off the beaten track with no previous records of the species to get a better understanding of their range and habitat preferences. To increase our chances and to make our records worthwhile, we've joined forces with 4 other naturalists. Firstly, 2 Moroccans, Mehdi, an ornithologist and indispensable in the field for bird ID, and Haitham, a PhD student at the University of Rabat and a mammologist. Secondly, Colin, or as I kept calling him, Colin, a Swiss naturalist and postgrad student working with the Chameleon Centre Conservation on projects in Morocco and Madagascar. And finally, Ryan, both Swiss and Moroccan, a naturalist and a photographer and founder of Fauna Morocco, a project combining fieldwork, photography, science and outreach to highlight and protect Morocco's unique animals. We will be assisting this project by helping Ryan to find any herb species left on his list to document, including Varanus griseus. So we have a fantastic team, but only 10 days in North Africa. Will it be enough to find the elusive desert monitor? But first, we need a Frenchman.
Violence broke out, caused comprehension processing and law enforcement also obtained other cities, including Montpellier, Lyon,
Bonjour. Oui.
For this trip, we've chosen a country that we know
we've chosen a
very
country
well.
we knew very well.
Morocco.
For this trip, we'd chosen a country we knew very well. Morocco. After a long drive, it was nightfall before we reached our accommodation. We set off herping at 2 AM with a familiar target in mind. We were searching once again for Echis leucogaster, the Roman saw-scale viper. It took Charlie all of 5 minutes to locate our first herb of the trip.
Big? Ah, cracking. Beautiful.
Kind of crazy that can.
Echis leucogaster was previously considered one of Morocco's rarest or least known snakes. Now we have a better understanding of their range and population status. It can be assumed that this species can be found throughout most of the Oued Dra or the Dra River. In areas where it occurs, it can occur in quite high abundance. Their venom is a potent cocktail that can cause severe tissue damage, hemorrhaging, or abnormalities in blood clotting. People often wrongly assume that because a snake is a juvenile, it's nowhere near as dangerous as an adult snake. Just one drop of this venom is enough to cause serious side effects, and this juvenile can produce a hell of a lot more than one drop. As always, we keep a safe distance and use a hook whenever necessary.
There you go. Food right here.
Where are you looking? I thought you were going to say there's another one there, right? Look.
Yeah, crickets. Did you think he was
Yeah.
going to make a joke?
No, I thought you was going to be like, oh, there's another one you stood on there.
With the thrill of one find, we set off again, scanning the riverbed to see if we can find some more. This river is completely dry for the majority of the year. Heavy rains cause it to rapidly fill up, soaking the substrate underneath and the surrounding plants. This creates a more humid microclimate than the surrounding desert, causing higher population densities of invertebrate life, the main prey of Echis.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, larger one, yeah. Got it there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's going to move on. Oh, he's shot down there. Yeah.
It could go out.
It could come out. It's just going to be hard to get it out of there, isn't it? It's on the mountain.
See it?
Yeah. There you go.
Fuck me.
Right, so there we go. What, 5 minutes later again, got another Echis. So this is obviously a great spot for them. Move out the way there. This one a lot more active than the first one.
The name saw-scale viper comes from a series of carinated dorsal scales along the flanks. When threatened, the snakes rub these scales together to produce a loud sawing sound. The reason they have this adaptation is to conserve moisture. In an arid environment such as this, hissing would waste a lot of internal moisture. You can see similar adaptations such as this on animals like Teratoscincus or the wonder geckos that have similar scales on their tail. They rub them together to produce a loud hissing noise.
well. The guys are behind me over there photographing that second Echis. I just want to give a bit of a show of what the habitat's like. You've seen it before if you've seen our other Moroccan video, but if I turn this around, you can maybe get a better look. Not the best, but essentially it's loads of this. So again, not the best shots. We'll come here in the day, get some habitat shots and show you. But essentially this is a big uid, so a riverbed. Obviously it's dry at the minute. When there's heavy rainfall, this will fill up. So there's just these little patches of shrubs sticking out of the water, but it gets really wet here, really humid. You see with all the cracked sort of clay soil, and that's what Echis like, that sort of more humid microclimate where you get a lot more invertebrates. Echis primarily are invertebrate specialists. They will eat small lizards, small geckos, maybe even smaller snakes, but for sure they've been seen to eat a lot of Scolopendra, Solifugae, which are the camel spiders, Scolopendra being centipedes. But you can see here, sort of like a shrubby, dry riverbed, perfect for Echis. And obviously this is a really good habitat because we've seen, oh that's terrible filming, like, but we've seen two now, so we're going to crack on and see what else we can get. Oh wow, look, another Echis there, starting ambush after I've just bloody fallen over. See if we can get him out, that's going to be a hard.
I've had to cut the audio off here because it sounded like I was in a jet engine. But you can see how this animal sat in ambush on this pile of rocks, waiting for invertebrates to pass by, or even small geckos. Slightly further along, we came across a typical prey item of an Echis, a Solifugae, the genus of camel spiders. To be honest, horrible little things, but pretty cool in their own right.
Oh shit, sorry. Yeah, big one. Yeah, see it? That's a huge one. Yeah, it does seem it, doesn't it? Lighter. Bigger though. That is a beast. I'm going to get her before she goes in that crack. Yeah. That is beast, isn't it? Look at that. Oh, sorry. Sorry, mate. Just flopped you there. Not one of them has saw-scaled.
This was the largest Echis I'd ever seen, a very big female, and really pale in colour, highlighting the variability within this species. Echis leucogaster is typically a very small viper, but individuals larger than this one can push upwards of 80 to 90 centimetres total length. So we finally called it a night at 4 AM after a successful night session. Meanwhile, seems like Charlie was getting abducted by aliens.
Right, so just for a little sum up, Jesus Christ, that light's right. Just for a little sum up of the evening, so we were herping for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and in that time we've found 4 Echis. So actually pretty good for first evening. I think everybody's pretty chuffed and really happy with it. First Echis, tiny little juvenile, really nice. Weren't expecting to find it straight away. It was within 2 minutes of us walking. Then 3 absolute beasts of Echis. Really lovely species. I mean, Ben will chop in some photos and some video footage and stuff like that, but they were absolutely gorgeous. Lovely patterns on them. Chunky animals as well. All in ambush and hunting, which was really nice to see. One of the things we did notice in the wadis that we were searching, there's a main road that goes through them. All the Echis, the big ones at least, that we found were on one side of the road and the juvenile on the other. Now, the side we found the juvenile on, really strong winds. Most likely because he's little, he got a little bit confused and went on the wrong side of the road. And then, as opposed to that, all the big adults that were all hunting, etc., and moving about, then we found on the opposite side of the road where there was absolutely no wind. So going to assume that those guys knew what they were doing compared to that little juvenile that was a little bit confused. But either way, cracking evening, lovely to see so many nice echis out and about, really. So this is the second time we've come to this location with Ben. We came here in March and found 3 in an evening, which again we weren't expecting to find and be so successful with. So we're all like really chuffed by the whole thing.
Right, we've already messed up. On what is the first day, we're already forgetting the mics again. What the hell? He's just overtaking me again. What the hell?
Fuck you. Yeah, so what we were saying in the first video is we've been recommended these biscuits by a genuine Moroccan man. So these are called Henrys, and apparently they are supposed to replicate what the Moroccans think is an authentic English biscuit. So we're going to pretend like we haven't eaten 3 already.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Let's give it a try.
let's give it a try. Oh shit, I've got my fucking thing next to the packet. That must be great.
I can't do a genuine thing.
Very genuine.
Very genuine.
Yeah.
It tastes like a digestive. So,
Yeah, it's the best way to describe it.
Yeah. which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cracking.
Henry's Petite Surfing, is that a biscuit?
Right, so I'm just going to pause the video there to just point out the elephant in the room. Those of you who've watched the first video know this isn't the first time that this has happened. So I've asked the French man his opinion on a French word, and he hasn't answered. I've had to get the Moroccan in the back to tell me the answer. He's also suspiciously enjoying that British digestive biscuit. Just thought that was worth noting.
What?
What's a surfing? Surfing.
Yeah.
What's a
It's like a very thin biscuit.
Oh, is it? Ah, petite.
Which it is.
As we approached our first stop of the day, I tried to see how many times I could fit into a sentence.
So, yeah, so this is more of a rocky desert. You get sort of in Morocco, you get these rocky deserts, rocky steppes. You also get like sandy, dune type deserts as you do in like near Akfenir and up in Mazauga. You do get griseus like in Mazauga, not in Akfenir. It's too close to the coast, I think, but you do get griseus in both those types of deserts. But this is, you know, prime habitat now, so even if it's just keeping our eyes open, scanning, we're expecting to find them in cisterns. It's the most common way that they are found, but just keeping our eyes out in any areas like this. I mean, you can see how the cisterns do trap a lot of animals in this is a really big open one, and here it's just pure flat desert, rocky desert, if that. And then this little congregation, little bushes, some rocky mounds, some little dirt mounds. So any animals coming through are going to come in here for a bit of shelter, to hunt. So you can understand why animals get trapped in these cisterns. Also, I think for Varanus griseus, what happens a lot is animals get trapped in there. Uromastyx, for example. And then they go in and eat it, and then they're stuck there themselves. So they go in for prey a lot of the time. And as we saw last night, there's a lot of gerbils, a lot of gerbils around here as well, often fall into cisterns. And like I say, Uromastyx, Trapolis, which are the agamas. So lots of food for them.
This was the first of many cisterns in this region, and if we wanted to save any animals inside, we had a lot of work to do.
A dead scorpion. plaque insisted it. Nice habitat. There's going to be a griseus in it. Damn it.
Finally, after lots of systems checked, we got our first herb. And Charlie got a bit too excited.
You absolute beast. That is a yellow one.
That is a fucking magnificent Uromastyx. Look at it. Jeez. Yeah, right. It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. It's looking at me like, I'm gonna fuck you up. That is gorgeous colour itself.
Colour's going down a little bit now, but look at that. That's a huge tail.
Yeah.
Don't get that in captivity, that big tail. I always think they're quite pathetic, the tails, and I don't think it'd be a good defence when I look at them in captivity, but when you look at that, that is pretty good. So they got those big spiky tails, they whip them around against predators, but they also, it's definitely a male, yeah.
Just the femoral pads.
And they also jam themselves in sort of rocky crevices with that tail as well, and you can't sort of pull them out. Pretty nice, but look at the size of the head on him.
The Saharan spiny-tailed lizard is a very common sight in a lot of the arid regions of Morocco. A heat-loving species that can be seen basking in the middle of the day on top of rock piles and scurrying away when you get anywhere near. They're very alert and often choose the highest perching point to sit and watch for predators. This animal would make perfect prey for a desert monitor.
So, well, it's still only like 9 in the morning. It's not too hot. It's like 23, 24 degrees. And the sun isn't too warm. We thought we'd come out and do a little bit of hiking, maybe for 10, 15 minutes. Check this sort of sandy sort of ridgeline. It looks really good for griseus, hunting in between these rock crevices. Lots of places for them to have burrows. There's a big burrow up there I'll go and check out. But also a lot of soft sand. So we can check their tracks, but also it's early morning. The tracks might still be visible of cerastes from the night before, so Saharan horned vipers, and they have this particular side-winding locomotion that they use to basically get across hot sand. And you can spot those tracks in the night. One of the best ways to find them is to track them through their tracks. But also the day after, the tracks can still be left behind. You can sort of go to where they're tucked away, but it's quite windy. So often when it's windy like this, the tracks get completely covered up. But you can see sand's pretty soft, so they'd leave like a sort of line like this, and then a line like this, line like this, as they sort of jump along. As well as griseus, cerastes also. Looks a decent area for a Cantodactylus, Messalina as well, which are some smaller lizard species that we want to sort of tick off, see what occurs here really. There's a few species that we want to see if their range extends up this way. So you can see lots of tracks around here, mostly birds, but then this is probably Jerboa. I think anyway, obviously it's hard to tell. Again, that looks like it's from the night before. A little bit wind blown. But if they're still present, that means cerastes tracks will probably still be present.
With no luck here and us starting to get cooked under the sun, I thought it was time to get back to the endless cistern checking.
Huh? Yeah. Ah, Tropolis. No, it's alright, it's just open. It was very, very weak. Got myself a bit stuck. Yeah, very emaciated, yeah, Tropolis bomi. Hopefully we get a few more of these, some nice males. But that one will give it a good drink and hopefully it survives. I mean, it's not in the best shape, unfortunately. What? A what? Oh, Jesus. Oh! What's that? Is that? I thought it had a black head for a second. Spell it. Is that Lytorhynchus diadema?
Alright. Oh yeah. Oh, it's isn't that
Yeah, the
shoulder?
leaf nose snake.
Leaf
Yeah,
nose?
there, Lytorhynchus. I've been recording. Look at that.
It's quite angry.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Right?
Lytorhynchus.
Yeah.
And then a big Tropolis, big male.
With one of our target snakes ticked off, it's just a shame I couldn't find a throat lozenge in the front of the cistern. So this is Lytorhynchus diadema, or the crown leaf nose snake, named because of that specially adapted nasal scale on the front there. It essentially uses it to dig, so it'll move its head side to side, digging in the sand. But this is a beautiful individual in a cistern, as you've just seen. But not the commonest snake. I've only ever seen one before, so it's a nice find, and in perfect condition. This is typical habitat for Lytorhynchus, shrubby desert with soft sand to dig in.
Oh, I've just hit my head. Oh, it's...
Yeah. It's in my hand. I've got it. I can feel it trying to burrow in.
I'll leave it.
Go to the concrete.
Put it in that cook bat.
And that's what if you go to the right.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're fast as fuck.
yes, Phenopsiformis, I think. Got it. So a closer look. There we go. Chalcides, Phenopsiformis, or what is the common name for these? The not wedge-snouted skink, Dumerils, skink. Anyway, these are. I'm going to get him out of the sun really quickly here. But these are pretty common, but very hard to actually find because you see a lot of the trails. I'm going to cover him up and go and put him maybe in these rocks. But a lot of the sandier places, you see their trails, so they live in sort of soft sand. They bury. That's why they've got that sort of wedged face. So they burrow into sand. You'll see often the enter point's like a little squiggle in the sand, and then maybe some like tunnels under the sand. It's often quite hard to find them. You have to see that bit of sand moving, so it's nice to tick one off. And this is the sort of habitat surrounding here, just desolate. Cracking bit of bread and cheese. There's a preemptive snack for finding griseus. Full of water by the looks of things. A lot of scorpions. A couple of them mantis. Is that? Can you try and hook that out? What's that? Is that the tail or something? Oh God, no. Or is it a snake?
Can't get a hook on it.
Is that its hand there? Floating in the water? See, I think it's just disintegrated, has it? Yep, griseus.
Fuck!
There's its hand.
Oh shit, yeah.
This was a devastating end to today's long trip. A dead griseus drowned in a water cistern. However, this was the first ever record of a Varanus in this region, at least increasing our knowledge on their distribution. It's dampened, we weren't exactly the most talkative on the way back. However, we still had 9 days remaining to find our target. In the next episode, we continue our search for the desert monitor, heading to more remote locations, and even utilising camera traps outside of burrows to try and capture individuals on camera.
And we'll skip through the night. Oh, there's a...
Charlie gets bitten on the arse by an agama.
No! Ow! It bit me, you fucker!
Oh shit!
Hey, it's under my shoe, I can't...
And we head into the Sahara to one of the strongholds of the desert monitor, Smara.